Good morning, all. So my name is Laila Plavins. I reside in Toronto Centre. Much has been said here. I do work alongside and participate in several plant-based treaty activities, and these are my best friends because they are really the best and most concerned people. It is no secret that we have one indivisible climate crisis and that the entire world must work cohesively to preserve health and avert further catastrophe. The United Nations health professionals and political leaders have declared the state of this environmental crisis is so severe as to be called the global health emergency. The plant-based treaty is but one of the tools and directives that we can use, and that clearly identifies those not so visible sources barely talked about and denied existence. And that's the intensive animal agriculture. Funny how COP and all those consorts of activities and organizations discuss fossil fuel emissions, et cetera, but nobody really wants to confront the real big elephant in the room, and it's so entrenched in our daily lifestyles that we are oblivious to it. So good thing that we have the group of people behind me as we do. It is really important. The seriousness remains very grossly underrepresented. The way most people feel is that there is really no sense of emergency. Meanwhile, experts like the United Nations climate chief Simon Steele warns, we only really have 2 years left to get back on track. 2 years, when in fact so many municipalities and countries have, they project plans to be implemented in so many years, and here as well by the year 2030 or 2026. Meanwhile, the experts claim that we'll reach the point of no return within 2 years and so. So I think that's something we should take seriously. The ugly truth indeed is the animal agriculture is what is responsible for global warming more than any other industry. It is the decision makers that are furnished with the scientific data and research that must make these hard decisions. It can't be an easy job being a leader, an elected official, a politician, but in the grand scheme of things, you have to really be true to yourself and analyze what you hear. There are no hard, fast answers either. I am really going off my script to myself, but I really feel passionate about this, that you really have to think of the future generations. We need to introduce plant-based at elementary school levels. Why? Because the elementary school children are the future decision makers and are responsible for our life and biodiversity in 10 and 20 years from now. We're talking to all the adults, we're talking about universities, which is really grand. We do go and do outreach to university students and so on, because they are the near future decision makers. But the people who are really going to take charge of the environment are the young people. So not only should we introduce plant-based nutrition at an elementary school level, despite mommy and daddy might not really agree with. I wouldn't say parents wouldn't agree with it, because if they see the forest for the trees, they'll understand the benefit of this all. But there should also be an education associated with that, so the youngsters understand why they're eating what they're eating and why we're doing what we do. Because I'll tell you, at the end of the day, when they're older, they will have the freedom to make their own decisions. Moving forward, the climate crisis is not isolated. We don't confront a climate crisis in a vacuum. So we do have to extend our plans, our initiatives to cross-reference with other communities in geography. So hopefully even Toronto can do so with municipalities like Mississauga, et cetera. This group, Plant-Based Treaty, do appeal to other jurisdictions, as I say, Mississauga and other parts of Ontario, Canada, God, worldwide, but on a more local level, so it's all good. I think I have not much more to say. Everything's been done. Last week, if Toronto were to sign on, it would look really good for you. There are no plant-based police. If you don't meet all the criteria, We're not going to reprimand you. It's only going to look good on you and incite other communities. Thank you.